Hey, this is Alex G, Brutha On The Go. I want to give a shout out and hopefully an inspirational message to my fellow clergymen who are out there of all walks of life, all faiths and denominations. I'm standing here in the Edmund Pettus Bridge, which is a site, as you well know, that was called Bloody Sunday, January of 1965. Marches that were led by John Lewis, C.T. Vivian, and of course Martin Luther King Jr. Just want to say, this is when the church was in its glory day. I know that people argue with King because they didn't think his tactics were evangelistic enough, evangelical enough. Social disobedience was not biblical. He got a lot of pushback. But as I look back in history, that's when the church was in its heyday, and in my opinion, in its finest moment. I want to challenge my brothers and sisters, my fellow members of the clergy. The community still needs us. The church stepped up and offered leadership, and history changed on this bridge. It took 3 attempts to get across this bridge. It was the 3rd attempt 2 weeks after Bloody Sunday that people actually made it to the court steps of the Capitol in Montgomery to challenge Governor Wallace and ask how could he allow black people to be treated the way they were on this bridge. He said he would do whatever he had in his power to be able to stop it. I want to challenge churches. Let's come alive. Let's find out what the issues are in our churches, and let's show people that we're not asleep, that we don't just care about money and chasing clothes and women and prestige. Let's learn how to put our lives back on the lines. Even if you didn't like the faith and religion of the people that were around that day, you admired their tenacity. Because were it not for the church, there would have been no voting registration act of Selma. There would have been no one organizing these events. James Reeb, who's a Universalist pastor with C.T. Vivian and Martin Luther King Jr. and Ralph Abernathy, these men and women of faith. There was an unnamed nun that you saw on the front page of the paper. These men and women of faith stood tall, stood for what they believed, and they changed the world. Selma was almost 50% black, and they weren't registered to vote. They had no say-so in the democracy of this state where they lived and where they worked. And so again, I'm just putting a call out. Not that I'm perfect, but this is inspiring me. Let's be the church again. Let's be people of faith. Let's show that we care about the community. Could you imagine what it took 40 years ago to move your congregation, to motivate them, to leave the comfortable pews, and to come out here to be tear gassed and to be spat on and beat with nightsticks? That's exactly what churches did. That's exactly what they did. And because of that, I can vote, and people who look like me can vote in any state of the union. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not just a brother on the go in this video. I'm a praying brother on the go. And I'm proud to be a member of the clergy, particularly when the clergy lives like that. Look over my shoulder, the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That change didn't come merely by an act of Congress. The people of faith moved Congress on behalf of the people of the state of Alabama, and 4 other states followed their lead. Come on, let's make a difference in our world. That's what Jesus would want us to do. That's why we're here, and that's what we're called. Let's live it up. Let's take advantage of our call, and let's change our world.